welcome back to another episode of Something New. Welcome to Mobile Raid, a brand new game that we're hopping into for the very first time today. If you want to go in and download this game for yourselves, link will be at the very tip of the top of the description. I would highly recommend that, by the way, given the fact that it is available for the low cost of free. And I want to say a huge thank you to Mobile Raid for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. I do appreciate it a ton. So here we are, base and all. This is our base. This is what we call home, with a variety of different buildings that serve a variety of different purposes, but we can go ahead and dive into that in just a sec. What I would like to dive into is the fact that the game is telling us to capture land. This is going to be one of the key functions of the game, occupying and capturing land. You guys can actually see that's something I've been doing quite a little bit of here. Why? Why would you want to expand your empire like the Star? Well, the reason is simple. As we continue expanding into these zones, it does actually end up helping our empire a whole ton with resource management. So currently, you guys can see, given the current circumstances, we are at 24 lands out of a possible 30 at the time being. Now, the max is going to go up as we do continue playing and whatnot, but just for now, the max possible is 30. So as we continue conquering this lands, which we can go ahead and send troops to do, you guys can see that that is the amount of resource output we are getting per hour. Pretty freaking juicy, I would say, but that's besides the point. The point is we need to go ahead and conquer some more, not just for our own resources, but because currently that is the middle of the quest that we are hopping into. As you guys can see, god dang, I just clicked on that thing again. I gotta click on the exclamation point, and then that'll show you the quest line that we are in the middle of, because I believe we are currently in chapter 10. That is right, this game does have chapters. We've been going quite along, and every time we finish one of these quests, we do actually earn different rewards that we can then utilize. But once we finish all of these quests, that is when we can dive into the chapter target. This is like the big finale of each chapter, and we are primed after capturing just the 3 more lands to go ahead and, oh, hold on, she said that there's new stuff in the store. Well, hot diggity dog, that's looking good, but I ain't interested. What I am interested in is capturing some more of that land. So the game actually does recommend which land that we do want, because there are 2 different ones that we can acquire. We can acquire this one, which does give us electricity, as you guys are seeing, that we're getting 200 hours, or we can also get this other one over here, which will be giving us the provisions at 600 per hour. Now, there is also the option of this like hybrid type of thingy-mabob here as well, where we are getting both, but that's kind of, it's composed of the 2 main elements I was talking about, you know. So why don't we go ahead and actually send troops over this way and begin marching? In order to march, we do need some heroes to actually lead our armies. Now, this is where the hero system comes in. There is a plethora of heroes available in the game, each of their own kind. As you guys can see here, there is a ton that I actually have under my command, but with each one, they come with their own unique things. Specifically, if you guys are looking over here, this is the stat that is currently being examined. That is the command stat, which in this case is the one that we do want to be the highest in order for us to actually be able to field the biggest army that we possibly can. However, you guys can see some of these heroes also do differ in the fact that they are having skills. Specifically, this legendary character over here with the orange outline, probably my most prized possession, because that is actually our character. That is ourselves. We are very special because I actually think that we have the escape ability there. This hero will not be captured if defeated, so we don't have to worry about us just being captured and GG or anything. We're good to go. But in addition to that, he does also have the command skill, which actually is when this hero is the general. It increases his troop size by 4%, making for some pretty nice stuff. But here you guys can see that if we're going in terms of troop size and whatnot, the violent general is even looking like he might be pretty good. But that's the thing. Actually, check this out. Okay, here's the thing. When it comes to actually sending troops and sending armies, there's a pretty nice bit of strategy that goes into it as well, because what we are looking at is 3 different brigades, and each brigade actually expects different things from different heroes. Again, relaying back to that whole kind of stat thing I was talking about with the different stats of the heroes that we can go ahead and take a bit more of an in-depth look of here in just a jiff. But for example, here in the 1st brigade, the general brigade, the stats that we are going to be looking for most is going to be command, war, and intelligence. But then if we shift on over to Vanguard, we can see that we're looking for war, command, and intelligence. And finally, if we head on over to the advisor, looking for intelligence, command, and war, showcasing how it is a little bit different in what each one is expecting of us and how you can actually plan accordingly and strategically. But the amazing thing is that there is actually an auto select where the game can go ahead and actually automatically select some of the stuff for you, and for the most part it is relatively maximized and it's going to be one of the most prime situations. Now, the area we're trying to march upon has 500 troops. You can even look at the details here of the General Brigade, Vanguard Brigade, and Advisor Brigade, all of which is going to be the generals and whatnot that are commanding them. So we can actually send some troops towards this land. Now, here's the thing. When these troops are sent, we have a variety of different troops that we can go in depth in just a little bit, but you guys can see that there are different troops for each row. So we can actually send troops in each row. We can only have one type of soldier though. So like you guys can see, I'm sending in my level 2s. That means I can't send my level 1 shepherds, and these are going to be in row 1. Now we can go ahead and start sending troops of different kinds. This one is better in level 3 air predators, but it just doesn't have the sheer volume of troops as I have in level 1. So in this case, I'm kind of going for the overwhelm tactic, where I just try to do the poo-poo on them and not even give them a chance to breathe. And we can go ahead and continue decking things on. You can pay attention to those rows, and I actually want you, I just want to point that out a little bit, because we can actually examine the battle as it is going on, and you guys will see how these rows do end up playing out. So with us about to arrive at the area, a battle will commence, and we have conquered the land 25 out of 27. Once victory is had, we even get a report for the victory where we can look through the details of the battle should we choose, or we can even look at a replay of the battle and witness the mayhem in front of our very eyes. The level 2 land occupant protecting it, sending some stuff over with his, it looks like he has a single row of troops. Well, we have over here, I believe, 5 rows of troops that are just absolutely pooping out. We didn't even get to the last row before this guy died, so RIP to him. Let's continue that, but that kind of showcases how the rows work in the grand scheme of things. Just wanted to kind of elaborate upon that a little bit. You guys can see that they're continuing to recommend things here, so I'm going to continue sending troops this way in a similar fashion. We just go ahead and auto allocate, because for the most part it's pretty good, and especially when we're conquering this land, at least they only have 500 troops, and I am sending very large armies of things. I'll send the level 3s this time, give them a little bit of exercise, you know, but let's go ahead and get some marching upon that. So you guys probably want to know about these units that we're sending, and so I'm gonna go ahead and actually head back towards the base so we can look at things on a more micro level, and we can actually take a peek at all of the different units. So the mech factory, these are gonna be the 4 buildings that will be creating your troops for the most part. If we go ahead, go to the mech factory and begin training, we can actually look through some of them. And here is also where the heroes come into play as well. Not only are the heroes necessary as being officers for your armies, they can also be utilized at home to help the amount of troops you can recruit, cheapen the cost of it, and also lessen the time of it should you choose. And here you guys can see the operator, the stat that you are looking for, which will be able to help you out. And currently I have Jarb working, and he is doing a fantastic job. But as we continue leveling up the building itself, it will even unlock more slots for more heroes and thus more benefits. But again, just further reiterating how important these guys are and how important it is to kind of like differentiate them, and how certain ones that might be high in one stat but bad in the other really can be useful in specialization. But okay, back to the units. Ashkedet, the defense mecha over here, the Shepherd level 3. You guys can see that these units can actually be leveled up as well, depending on how you do level up the base. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, the mech factory, for example, does have the upgrade option, and we could go ahead and skip a battle through that to showcase what happens. It goes up a level, it gets a plus 100 production, but we did not unlock a new unit yet. But anyways, let's head back to the training grounds and continue looking through. So each unit does have its respective stats. This one, as you guys can see, is very defensive in its capabilities, whereas if you go to the attack mecha, it is a little bit more on the attack side. You can even see all of these different like stats adjust as you do go through them, and these really do play a role in the game. And over here in the upper left even, you guys can see a couple of the skills that they do benefit from as well. So this is the defense mecha with damage reduction, maintenance, where it can even increase the HP of itself, and a steel shield to increase the defense of itself, making it a perfect tank for any army, especially because I'm pretty sure they actually take place in one of the higher up rows. I believe that they're going to be chilling kind of over in row 1, so perfect for their tanky nature. Then if we head on over to this guy, attack mecha, you guys can see those also get adjusted accordingly. He has the ability to wound, crit, and anti-air, but then we start getting into the extra juicy units. This defense mecha is looking yoked. However, to unlock these very special units, you do need to kind of go under these objectives, such as conquering the water stand or God Trace, which is going to be a little bit further out. This is, as you guys can see, our base is 2,400 kilometers away, so a little bit further, but check it. You might be asking yourself, what in tarnation is this? Well, if we try to click that invade, the city war begins in 41 minutes. What is the city war? Well, the city siege. Once every 32 hours, unions can actually attack each other's cities. In order to attack a city, the following conditions must be met. You have to be under a union during the event, and unions cannot attack towns if their faction is less than 80. Level 1 to 9 cities could be attacked anytime. Pivot capitals cannot be attacked until unions have 15,500 faction, and you can even tap more city conditions for details. You guys can see the rules, even the city skills. There's a whole ton of depth that goes into it, and this stuff is where the true insanity begins to fall in. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, we are not going to be able to dive into that at the time being, but feel free to let me know in that comment section down below if that is something you would potentially love to see in a future video by hitting that like button, of course, because I'm more than open to what y'all boys and girls might be having to say, and if more is to be wanted, I'm a man of the people. More may very well be given, but I just want to go ahead and inform y'all about that, because we can go ahead and click on that world mod map, and once that is acquired, you can see that this is very far away. That is where we exist, over there. So a little bit further away there, and you guys might be seeing this map and be thinking, hold door. What is all this different coloring? Well, that corresponds to the resource zones. The resource zones being the types of resources that you can actually acquire. Now, we are currently in a level 1 resource zone, which is not as bountiful nor plentiful of resources at level 2, which just shrivels in comparison to what level 3 would allow us. So you guys can even see our union leader, the leader of our kind of alliance, is chilling over by Snow City over there. So if anything, if I do end up moving, which I am planning to do in the future, I'm thinking I should probably try to move closer to the leader of my alliance, since the alliance is also what's hopefully going to be protecting me. But if we do want to move to a level 2 zone, this is possible under a certain condition. You guys can also see that it does get tougher over here too. But let's just go ahead and click on a tile, and under this tile we can build. And what we would want to build in order to move here is actually the sub base. It works like a fortress, except that it can transfer home base. So check it, bada bing, bada boom. But it is going to be requiring a technology in order to do it first. So what you want to do is go ahead and confirm, and you need to get this sub base researched. Unfortunately, our tech center is not high enough level at the time being, and we do not even have the necessary research hero to allow us to actually research this puppy, since you guys can see that there is a command stat requirement and also an intelligence stat requirement, and currently we do not have a hero that satisfies those. So even if we did have the necessary buildings, upgrades, and resources, we do not have the hero to command this research, which is very unfortunate. But that is how you go about actually moving to the higher resource zones, which is something that is going to be very vital in the life cycle of the game, and something I definitely wanted to make sure y'all were aware of how to do. And back to all of the people we should probably go, since we were in the middle of talking about dumb lads until we got teleported off into a new land trying to check out the newer defense mecha. But if you guys look at it, it is pretty much like an improved defense mecha, the Rodeleros. I hope that I pronounced that right. It's looking a hell of a lot more juiced, and it does appear to have the same abilities as well, just as this is kind of like the juiced version of the attack mecha, where it does have higher stats and whatnot to accompany it. Now then, why don't we go ahead and go on over to the training grounds, with more units awaiting us as well. The skirmish infantry of the Zealot. You guys can see the stats up there in the upper left hand corner, and in the left, its abilities of Berserk to deal extra damage, Penetration to attack and ignore the proportion of an enemy's defense, and Criticals to have a chance at doing double damage. Then we can move on over to this fella right here, the Ghost Hunter. Hit and run, have a chance to dodge damage, and power, increase the attack itself and defend. Great attack bonuses when defending the home base, and the accompanying stats there. And again, it is appearing to work in a similar fashion, where you do have the commando troops, and they have kind of like their super juiced version that does retain the same skills and abilities, but simply becomes more powerful in terms of stats, and in this case looks way cooler. Who does want cyber wolves in the middle of their army? Lame people, that's who, because cyber wolves are fantastic. Okay, but check it out, the skirmish infantry over here, it's a kind of ESA version, is again getting juiced a little bit in that form and retaining the same skills. And again, in order to do this, most of these are having the are going to require having conquered one of those kind of big cities that we were showing off in one of those city wars, siege wars with the the help of the Union. But this one and this one over here is going to be requiring our training grounds to level up, because as it does level up, we do unlock those newer units. Currently, unfortunately, it is at 6. Then to the airport, more infantry awaits. Over here, the fighter Thunder level 1, the stats of that making it a super fast attacker with an okay amount of defense and a little bit of attack, but its abilities have the lock to attack from row 5, skill unactive if no enemies are at row 5 plus, acceleration where the increases the speed of the movement of itself, and dodging to have a chance to dodge all possible damage. And then on the other hand, on the other type of units, we have the Bomber, an air raid where the attack starts from the last row of the enemy's, acceleration where you can even increase the movement speed of yourself, and the grab, great bonuses when attacking mines and markets. And then of course you guys can see its stats over there. Most of these air forces are appearing to be a lot faster than any of the other types of units, which does make sense given the fact that they are flying in the air, and it's pretty hard to find obstacles in air. You know, you're not coming across like a stop sign in the middle of the air, or you're coming across maybe a cloud on a cloudy day. But then if we head it over here to these units, again, the same sentiment is mirrored, where their abilities do stay the same, but you guys can go ahead and check out their new stats and just, oh my god, dude, look at this thing, man. It's a blimp with like a bullet bill face on it. I need that, man. I need that. And finally, we have the vehicular factory with the IFV Ironclad as a potential unit. Very relatively high defense, but a pretty high load there. Its abilities, loading, where the load increases drastically. Heavy armor, where you can shield most of the damage from a tower attack. And the Iron Wall, where the great defense bonuses is actually bonused during a siege. And finally, on the other type of vehicle that can be recruited, we have the tank, the Culverin, and this thing attack the first 3 rows and deal extra damage to the back 2. That sounds like a pretty powerful ability if you ask me. Not only that, it can break defenses where it even increases the siege value of itself, and it can greatly attack bonus in sieges as well. But why don't we go ahead and check out the super juiced versions over here. We have the IFE Ironclad, and then, oh my god, a literal mobile fort. And you guys can see just how those stats improve and how much more useful they would be with a place in your army. And then the tank over here, the super juiced version of which is, oh my, a Mirage Strike? Jesus, dude, this thing is just looking, oh my god, +9 attack, dude. That's like almost, that's pretty much a 50% increase in attack. And given some of those skills that I was reading, I has a feeling that the tank is going to be very good with even higher attack. But I just want to go ahead and introduce y'all to all of the units that there are there. And with that introduction, why don't we actually go ahead and check out these heroes a little bit more in depth. So as you continue playing the game, you'll actually gather yourself a variety of heroes with even a color kind of denoting their rarity. Me, myself, think Carter, of course, being of the most legendary kind with those super dope commander skills that I was talking about. But you guys can see my stats, the 5 key and essential stats: command, intelligence, governance, charisma, and war. Now I do have +1 to the governance. The reason for that is I actually put a gear over here on my fella, a gear that I've acquired through playing the game. And what this does is, depending on the type of gear, there are different types of gears, they can actually give different types of boosts to your character. The one that I am wearing currently gives my governance an additional 1 point. Now I don't really have this equipped on any other of my fellows, but you guys can go ahead and check them out. Their skill over there that they got. The Violent General over here with his pretty, he's looking like a pretty good commander and war, but whereas he does kind of suffer when it comes to intelligence, governance, and charisma. So what you want to do with these heroes is kind of plan around that, and then these guys who might be better in commanding, war, and even depending on which brigade you put them in during an attack, intelligence or charisma, you're just going to want to kind of plot the workflow of your city around that to truly maximize the bejesus out of the damage that can be done. But enough talking about heroes. I want some battle. We have one very last land to collect. I understand, Anna, there is land, and god dang it, I'm gonna go get me some land. It feels good to be back home, by the way, instead of freaking 3,000 kilometers away. Let's get to march and allocate all of them units, and let's go ham as can be. Dang it! I thought there'd be one more unit so I could, you know, match the syllables up. The syllables did not launch. Match. I just said, I was trying to say launch and match at the same time. They did not match, unfortunately. Now that we have all the land, it is time for the battle at the boss. Let's claim the reward, and we need to destroy a level 1+ mech army. So if you guys are looking here, we do have the search function, and we can even search for the varying levels of which that we would like. I'm just gonna search for a level 1 because I haven't exactly. I just don't want to push it, man. I don't want to come home and I just want a dub here. All right, this Mecha Army Spider. It is tough, and we need at least 2 members to rally. Let's initiate the rally and the rules. So the rally lasts 60 minutes. We can upgrade the embassy to improve our troop size. No horns will cost to rally the Mech Army, mutants, and city siege, and the Legion attack order will be chosen randomly. The damage will be taken in ratio according to the soldiers' number of both legions. So we can even set the requirements where we can allow rally members to depart at their discretion. Depart when there are 8 legions. Like, there are all these different rules that we can put on and whatnot, but for the most part, I'm just gonna go ahead and get to deploying. We have an ETA there, 63 kilometers. Let's select it for the starting point and let's deploy. And so we have the time for a rally. I am gonna be sending the most powerful troop possible. All right, maybe I'm gonna be sending the better shepherds here so that we can send a bejesus ton of these other dudes, but this is probably the biggest battle we've yet to participate within. Actually, I don't know. I have fought a couple of like NPC / boss type of characters, so let's get these boys marching, and they have posted in the rally. So if we go ahead and check out the details of this rally, you can even see this is going to be a relatively even battle, which is why it's actually going to be interesting to see this play out. This is probably the most even battle I have yet to participate within. We can wait for some more troops to be rallied and other legions, but I want to depart now. I want these lads to be as dead as can be, so we do have a slight walk where our troops will begin marching through. Now as we approach the moment of truth comes the most even battle we've yet to participate within. Regardless of the results, we have won! Never mind, result ain't regardless. We got a dub, a big win to be specific. Commander, we rescued a hostage on our way back. She seems like an outstanding diplomat. What a beautiful girl. Dear Commander, I'm Lori. Thanks for saving your life. No worries. Do you want to work for me? Dang right, you working for me. Ooh. And with that, we have probably our biggest victory to date. And because of the defeat, as you guys saw there, of the Mech Army, we can go ahead, head on over here and check it. Claim a reward, and this reward, is it Juice, and Lori is reporting in for duty as a new champion with some actually pretty good command, war, and charisma stats. Lori, be quiet, I'm talking, dang it. And so begins a new chapter that I need to go ahead, and the Mechanical Army is coming with their own communication system. Oh, great. And they have humans too. Oh man, well, that's an interesting development there, and we do have a new list of tasks that we need to knock out before ultimately attacking the level 2+ Mech Army. And with that, there you guys and gals have a little bit of a taste of Mobile Raid that I hope y'all found quite delicious. So link at the very top of the description for y'all to go ahead and download this puppy for yourselves. And I would again want to say huge thank you to Mobile Raid for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. But this is gonna start wrapping up for me for now. Thank you guys a whole ton for watching. Have yourselves an awesome one, and I'll talk to you next one. See ya.